Dear students, how are you today? Fine? I hope so. Welcome to our English class in the program Aprender e Estudar em Casa. I am teacher Perpetua Verissimo. And remember, we still have to continue on preventing the COVID-19. So don't forget to wash and sanitize your hands, keep physical distancing, and wear your mask, especially when you are outside. So, I believe that today's topic is really special to you. Today, we're going to talk about friendship. We're going to discuss the importance of friendship, vocabulary related to teenage friendship, and we are also going to work on grammar. We're going to revise the conditional sentences, type 0, 1, and 2. To start, I have a question for you. What does friendship mean to you? Yeah, it's a really difficult question to answer, but according to the Cambridge Dictionary, a friendly relationship or the state of being friends. But why good friends are so important? You already know this, right? According to this site, Reach Out, research has shown that the better the quality of your relationships, the more likely you are to be happy. So, being a great friend to someone or having friends support your back is good for your well-being. But exactly what makes a good friend? What do you think? What makes a good friend? What qualities does a good friend have? Let's look at this first activity. Tick the statements you agree with and cross those you disagree. A. He or she is there for you no matter what. B. He or she talks behind your back. C. He or she is kind and respectful to you. D. He or she is there to listen. E. You enjoy each other's company. F. He or she should be rich. G. He or she always tells you the truth. H. He or she only cares about himself or herself. I. He or she never disagrees with you. And J. He or she sticks around in bad times. Which one do you think are the qualities of a good friend? Think of your friends, take some time to do it. I'm quite sure that we tick the same answer. Let's see then. The first one, he or she is there for you no matter what. That's correct. He or she talks behind your back. That's not good, for sure not. C, he or she is kind and respectful to you. And he or she must be kind and respectful to your family as well. That's correct. D, he, she is there to listen. And you should listen to your friends too. That's correct. E, you enjoy each other's company. That's good. Correct. He or she should be rich. Well, that's not really true, right? So it's a cross. He or she always tells you the truth. And sometimes it is hard to hear the truth, but a good friend should always tell you the truth. He or she only cares about himself or herself. That sounds a little selfish, doesn't it? So it's a cross. He or she never disagrees with you. Well then, he or she is not honest with you, that's not good. So it's a cross. He or she sticks around in bad times. That's good. It shows that your friends support you. And you should support your friends too. You should stick around in bad times as well. Now let's learn some vocabulary related to the word friends. Some collocations that are usually together with the word friend. Let's see them. Activity 2. There are some collocations related to the word friends. Read and check their meaning, then try to match them with their definitions. The words we have there are lifelong friend, circle of friends, fake friend, old friend, mutual friend, make friends, best friend, and close friend. Take your time to do it. And try to use your dictionary as well. So, I believe you got them right. Let's do the correction now. The first one, a fake friend, right, is someone who pretends to be your friend, but he or she just uses you for their benefit. Number 2, a best friend is a person closest and dearest friend. Number 3, a close friend is somebody who you can talk to about everything, who makes you feel comfortable without fear or judgment. Number 4, your circle of friends, of course, is your group of friends. Number 5, an old friend is someone you have known for a very long time. Number 6, a mutual friends are friends of yours that are also friends with someone else you might know. Number 7, if you make friend with someone, it means you begin a friendship with them. 8, your lifelong friend is someone you have known all your life. So you might say, teacher, I see it is really important to have friends, but what can I do to make friends or to make more friends? So we have some tips for you. To have a friend, you should be a friend for sure. Let's see then. The first one, be real, honest, be yourself. The second one, be respectful and treat everyone the way you want to be treated. This is really important. The third one, take time to listen to others. The next one, keep confidences and don't gossip. Otherwise, your friends won't trust you. Next, be helpful. make yourself available to help others. And the last one, be sociable. Participate in the school and community activities. It's a good way to make friends and also to relax. Now, I invite you to listen to a nice song that talks about friendship. I'm quite sure you know which songs I'm talking about. It's from Bruno Mars. Remember? You Can Count on Me. It's our activity 3. Listen to this song and complete with the words you hear in the song.
If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. If you're tossing and you're turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song beside you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Oh, find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, and you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do, oh yeah. Ooh, ooh, yeah, yeah. You'll always have my shoulder when you cry. I'll never let go, never say goodbye.
I'm quite sure you knew this song, right? So let's do the correction. See the first one. If you ever find yourself stuck in the middle of the sea, I'll sail the world to find you. If you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light to guide you. Find out what we're made of when we are called to help our friends in need. You can count on me like 1, 2, 3, I'll be there. And I know when I need it, I can count on you like 4, 3, 2, you'll be there. 'Cause that's what friends are supposed to do. If you're tossing and turning and you just can't fall asleep, I'll sing a song besides you. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. So that was the correction of the song. If you have time later, you can listen and sing to it to practice your English and dedicate it to your friends. We have an activity 4. Activity 4. Notice this sentence from the song. And if you ever forget how much you really mean to me, every day I will remind you. Number 1, try to identify the verb tenses in bold. Number 2, does this sentence express a real, possible, or imaginary condition? Take a little time to do it. So let's see then. The first verb tense we have there, forget, is present simple. Will remind is future simple. We talked about the verb tenses in the previous class, remember? And now tell me, does the sentence express a real possible condition or imaginary condition? What do you think? It is a possible condition. We are referring to the conditional type 1. And as you know, in English there are 4 different types of conditional, and perhaps you have studied the conditional type 0, 1, 2, and there is also a third conditional that probably you will study next year. Let's see, what are conditional sentences? The conditionals describe the result of a certain condition. The if clause tell us the condition. If you study hard, and the main clause tell us the result. You will pass your exams. The order of the clauses can change, thus the meaning does not change. In the example, we have the first conditional, which express a real or possible condition. In this first sentence, we have if clause first. In this case, we use a comma to separate the two clauses. But if we decide to start with the result clause, then if we'll separate the sentences, then we don't need a comma. Now let's look at the following table, which has the 3 conditional that I have told you about. 0 conditional, first conditional, and second conditional. The first one, for what do we use the 0 conditional? We use the 0 conditional to talk about things that are generally true, strong habits, or give instructions. You can see some examples there. If I drink too much coffee, I can't sleep at night. Ice melts if you heat it. When the sun goes down, it gets dark. I believe that from the examples you can tell me what is the structure for the 0 conditional. Well, in the table we start with the if clause. So the if clause that we can also use when is used with the verbs in present simple. What about the result clause? The result clause is also present simple, right? The first conditional, we use the first conditional when we talk about future situations we believe are real or possible. You can read from the examples. She'll miss the bus if she doesn't leave soon. It's something really possible to happen. And the second example, if I see her, I'll tell her. So then, can you tell me what is the structure for first conditional? We start again with the if clause, that sometimes we can use when, plus present simple. The result clause is formed by will plus infinitive, right? And will can be replaced by other modal verbs, as you can see on the table, can, may, or might. The third one we have is the second conditional. For what do we use the second conditional? The second conditional is used to imagine present or future situations that are impossible or unlike in reality. The first example we have there, if she was the Prime Minister, she would invest more money in schools. That means she's not the Prime Minister, but we can imagine that. Perhaps she's someone really concerned about education. We can say that if she was the Prime Minister, she would invest more money in schools. The second example, he would travel more if he was younger. He is old, but he can imagine that, right? The next one, if I were you, I wouldn't spend so much money in clothes. So in the third example, it's another use of the second conditional. We use it to give advices. And in this case, the verb to be is conjugated differently. As you can see, if I were you, instead of if I was. In the oral speech, perhaps you can say if I was, but in written especially, we say if I were you when giving advices. Well then, can you tell me how do we form the second conditional? In the if clause, we have the verbs in the past simple, right? And the result clause, we have would plus infinitive. Now, let's do some practice. As we usually say, practice makes perfection. So let's do some practice now. Exercise 1. Choose the correct option to complete the sentences. All the sentences are conditional sentences. Pay attention to the verb tenses and the meaning and decide A, B, or C, what is the correct option. Take some time to do it. Time to correct it now. Let's look the first sentence. Number 1, what would you do differently if you, option A, have, B, had, C, would have? What do you think? It's option B. So we have, what would you do differently if you had to do this again? And this is the second conditional, right? Number 2, if I, option A, buy, B, bought, C, will buy the more expensive bike, I won't have enough money to pay my rent. I won't have. This is the first conditional, right? So the correct option is A. If I buy the more expensive bike, I won't have enough money to pay my rent. Number 3, the project, option A, is B, will be, C, would be delayed if I don't finish this report on time. The if clause we have, I don't finish. That's the present simple, which means we have conditional type 1. So the project, the correct option is B. The project will be delayed if I don't finish the report on time. Number 4, if I'd go to the doctors. If I am, I were, or I will be. What do you think? I'd go to the doctors. That's second conditional. Yes, so the correct option is B. If I were you, I'd go to the doctors. Number 5, when I look at the computer screen for too long, I, option A, get, B, got, C, would get a headache. It is something that always happens to me, so what do you think? The first verb is in the present simple, so it can be first or zero conditional. But as it is something that always happens to me, it is the zero conditional, right? So the correct option is A. Number 6, if I cared about what people think, I, option A, had, B, will have, C, would have a very boring life. If I cared, as you can see, the verb is in past simple, which means that the sentence is second conditional. The correct option is C. If I cared about what people think, I would have a very boring life. And finally, number 7, the last one. I'll go and visit her as soon as the correct option is A, have time. I'll go and visit her as soon as I have time. So far, so good. We have done some practice on the conditional, and I hope you have understood it and had the opportunity to practice. Now, it's time for our homework. And for homework, I have some questions for you. Question 1, what does friendship mean to you? Question 2, who is or are your best friends? How did you meet? Number 3, what do you do when your friend or your friends is or are in trouble? Number 4, if you could realize one of your best friend's dreams, what would it be? Time to summarize our lesson. In today's class, we talked about friendship and its importance. We also revised the form and use of different types of conditional sentences. So that's all for today's lesson in this program Aprender e Estudar em Casa. Thank you so much for your attention. Don't forget, stick with your friends. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.